Summary of We the Animals by Justin Torres. The unnamed narrator spends most of his time with Manny and Joel, his brothers. When their mother stays in bed for days, they spend time together by sneaking around the house quietly as if it were their job not to wake her up. Because they are afraid that their father will come home and beat them for being bad, they make their own food and find things to do when they are by themselves. When Ma isn't paying attention, she will sometimes quickly come out of her bedroom, confused and not sure what day or time it is. She once wakes Joel up in the middle of the night and asks to borrow baking ingredients from their neighbor so she can make Manny's birthday cake. Joel tells Ma that nobody is awake at this time and it's not even Manny's birthday. Ma stops and then says, "I hate my life." For some reason, the narrator and his brothers smash tomatoes with a club one day, making the juices splash all over them. Ma finally comes out of her room and asks them why they're not at school on Sunday. They don't answer. The moment she sees what they're doing, she forgets all about what was going on. She doesn't get mad, instead, she says in awe that they look just like they did when they were first born. When she asks them to make her look born, too, they are happy to do it. They dance around her as she lies on the floor covered in tomato juice. Another time, when the boys got home, their dad was cooking and listening to music. He beats them up a lot, which makes them afraid of him. But they feel like each beating has a deeper meaning, like he's trying to teach them how to live. Then they go into the kitchen and watch Paps dance and drink beer. He tells them they should join him. He shows them different ways to dance, like how to dance like they're white, rich, poor, or Puerto Rican. He tells them over and over to stop, and in the end calls them mutts because they're not fully white or fully Puerto Rican like he is. He then tells them to watch how he dances, and they try to figure out what makes him different from them. Soon after they start dancing lessons, Paps brings Ma home, who has a lot of bruises on her face. They ask Paps what happened, and he says that the dentist punched Ma before putting her to sleep, which is how doctors loosen teeth. They are not allowed to go into Ma's room for a few days, but on the morning of the narrator's 7th birthday, they finally do. Manny tells Ma that the narrator's birthday is coming up, and Ma says that this means he'll grow apart from her. She says that when Manny and Joel turned 7, they turned into their dad and became tough. Manny and Joel are confused and proud when they hear this, and they leave the room as the narrator asks her if she no longer loves his brothers. She tells them she still loves them, but she had to change how she loves them because having big boys means you have to meet tough with tough. After making him promise to stay 6 for the rest of his life, she kisses him on the face. He is so in love with her that he can't help himself. He then touches her bruises, which makes her swear and push him. He knows it's 7 years old by the time he hits the ground. Paps takes the family to a lake another day. They are not good at swimming, so he pulls them through the water until they reach the middle of the lake. Then he lets go of them. Ma gets scared and grabs the storyteller, pushing him under the water. In order to get away from her, he sinks down. The next thing he knows, he's swimming on the surface while Ma holds on to Paps and they both cheer, thrilled that he's still alive. Ma is still so mad at Paps, though, that she won't sit next to him on the way home. She opens the door and stands on the narrator's lap while they are driving and asks Paps if she can teach the narrator how to fly. Paps pulls over, and the boys get out of the car while their parents fight furiously. Ma yells at Paps to take her off of her. Soon after, the family is quiet for the rest of the way home as Paps drives them. He turns around before the ride is over and asks the storyteller what he thought of his first flying lesson. This makes everyone, even Ma, laugh out loud. Paps doesn't come home for a long time. Ma stops doing everything except sleep. She stops going to work too. There they are again, having to take care of themselves while being careful not to wake up their mother. Even though time has passed, Paps is still nowhere to be found. Until one night during dinner, the phone rings, and Ma is sure it's him. But she doesn't answer it. She just lets it ring until it stops, but it starts again soon after. Not being able to take it any longer, Manny says he'll answer the phone. But Ma stops him by smashing his dinner bowl on the floor. Soon after, Paps comes back, and Manny locks himself in his room. The narrator and Joel hide in a crawlspace under the stairs, where they find an old phone and pretend to be their parents, telling each other they're sorry and that things will get better, even though neither Joel nor the narrator really understands what they're saying. When Paps and Ma get back together, they love each other a lot. The whole family crams into the bathroom one day while Paps bathes the boys. Ma stands at the sink and gets ready for work while he does this. At one point, Paps grabs her lustfully, which makes the boys happy because they know that's how their mom feels. They are so incredibly happy when they see how close and happy their parents seem. They hide behind the shower curtain when Paps drains the tub and dries them off because they know their parents will try to find them. But Ma and Paps don't do that. Instead, they start having sex. When the narrator looks out at them, he sees his mother's face and thinks she's hurting because she loves Paps. When she opened her eyes, she saw him looking. She told Paps to stop and then told him to get her shoes so she could finish getting ready for work. When he goes to do this, she hides behind the shower curtain with her boys. When Paps comes back, they all jump out at him and pin him to the floor while he screams with joy. Manny hits Ma in the middle of the back when she tries to protect him from the boys. The narrator and Joel wait to see if their father will punish Manny for what he did. When Paps doesn't do anything, the three of them get angry at their parents and start hitting and kicking them for not trying to find them while they were hiding. Soon after, Paps gets a job as a security guard at night. He has to bring the boys with him, though, because Ma also works nights. He goes to sleep with the narrator on his lap and wakes up late one morning. He screams at them to get in the car, but it's too late. The security guard for the morning saw them. Paps gets into a fight with the other guard, which knocks his coffee to the ground, while the boys wait in the car. When he gets home, he starts to cry, but the boys don't know what to think because he doesn't just let the tears fall. Instead, he hits the dashboard with his fist, making a beat that the brothers finally start to chant along with. At home, they keep chanting while Paps sinks into the couch in defeat. He tells Ma they'll never escape the life they're living when she asks what's wrong. "Don't you dare," Ma says in a harsh voice when she hears this. Paps comes home one night and forces Ma to have sex with him even though she doesn't want to. The next morning, she puts the boys in trash bags full of their clothes into the car. She pulls over and takes a nap in a park after driving for a short time, while the boys look for things to do. That night, when she finally wakes up, she asks them what she should do. She wants to know if they should leave Paps. Since they can't say anything, they stay quiet, so Mom puts them back in the car and goes home. The narrator is sad as he pulls into the driveway, but he wouldn't let himself feel this until it was clear they weren't going to leave. It's after dinner, and the boys are bored. They go into the trees and throw rocks at a camper behind their neighbor's house. A rock breaks the window of the van, so they run away. But the older son of the neighbors, who they call the headbanger, follows them. He doesn't get mad when he sees them, which surprises them. Instead, he says he wants to show them something. They follow him into his basement and watch a video of a father sexually abusing his son. They don't want to look scared, so they do it. The narrator wishes someone could stop him from seeing what's happening on screen, but he knows that his brothers can't do that. Paps decides to take the narrator out of school for a trip to Niagara Falls so he can make a delivery. In the time they have together, Paps gives him money and tells him he will be back soon. The narrator gets more and more bored and angry as the hours go by, but he kills time by dancing in a room that is empty while a video of the waterfall plays on the wall. When he turns around after a while, he sees that his father is watching him, but Paps doesn't say anything until they get home late that night. That's when he says that he doesn't know what to think about it, but he couldn't help but think that the narrator looked pretty while dancing to himself in the changing light of the projector. After a few years, the boys smoke cigarettes and drink booze while walking around in the snow one night. Now that they are teens, they can all tell that the narrator is not like Manny and Joel. The narrator makes his brothers angry by telling them they should beat him up because he thinks they see him differently. These two don't fall for it, though. They call him fucked up. So, he leaves them where they are and walks to the bus stop in town. In order to get the guts to have sex with one of the other gay men who use the bathrooms as a meeting place, he's been going to the station's public bathrooms a lot. Tonight, there is only one bus at the stop. The driver invites him on board and reaches into his pants to say, "You want me to make you, I'll make you." The storyteller yells, "He made me," on his way home. I'm done. He gets home and sees his family in the living room. Ma is sitting next to him with his journal open. He knows right away that she has read all of his detailed dreams about having sex with other men. He gets down on his knees and tells his father he's going to kill her. His father jumps toward him. Manny and Joel hold Paps down, and the narrator feels like his family is looking at him with some kind of kindness, but he beats them badly before scratching his own face. As the narrator calms down, Paps gives him a bath, where he is washed and his toenails cut. His brothers then clean the snow off the car so that the family can take him to a mental hospital. According to the narrator, this is the last time he will ever be with his whole family. He thinks things could have gone differently, but they can't be honest with each other, so he ends up cutting ties with them and starting a new life.
About the author. Justin Torres was born in New York City, but I grew up in a town called Baldwinsville in upstate New York. He came out as gay when he was a teenager, which is something he writes about in his semi-autobiographical first book, We the Animals. During his younger years, he went to New York University, but he soon quit and began traveling across the United States. Before taking a writing class at the new school in New York City, he did some odd jobs during this time. Later, he went to the Iowa Writers' Workshop and got his Master of Fine Arts in 2010. After that, he became a Stegner Fellow at Stanford University. He released We the Animals during this time. It won an Indies' Choice Book Award and was in the running for a Publishing Triangle Award and an NAACP Image Award. He is an English teacher at the University of California, Los Angeles.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.